The TV do be kind of loud in my videos. Let me turn that down. Was you listening to that?
Uh-uh.
Oh,
No.
I just kind of noticed. Well, not real loud, but
No, man. I'm not listening to it.
probably should have put some lotion. Oh, hey Monique, is my lotion down here? Yeah. I'm glad you're here. Always glad to see my moderators. Okay, I can turn it up a little bit so I can. I turned it off. Let me turn it back up. Yes. Let's see who is here. Hold on, y'all. I know they like, why she can't do all of this before she, because I'm not. That's why. Tea. My glasses don't want to fit with my little headband. Had to go back to my headbands, y'all. I ain't did a headband in a minute. So I got to get back into my headbands. Hey, Kay. Hey, Deborah. Okay, KK says she got a meeting. She'll see us later. Okay, so we're going to get started, y'all. Everybody know what, what happened yesterday. Um, Kobe and his daughter and seven other people were killed in a plane crash in Calabasas, which is in Los Angeles, California, yesterday. So, yesterday was, you could just feel the energy. Like, all through the timeline that was all that was there basically was, about Kobe and the crash because at first they were saying that it was just, Kobe and some other people um, on the helicopter. I guess, they didn't know that his daughter was actually on the helicopter with him. And then it comes out later that not only his daughter, but two other um, children. So it was Kobe's daughter and two of her teammates on the basketball team that she played on. They were on their way to a game, which they said was only like about 20 minutes from where they were. But everybody knows that LA traffic is horrible. And, he had the means to get there in a helicopter, so, why not do that? I'm not going to go into, any of those conspiracies or whatever. We don't know what happened, and I don't want people to, post that kind of stuff in the comments. Please don't. Please don't go into the numerology and, all of that. Let's not do that because I'm not into that. If that's what you came here for, then you're on the wrong channel. Let's just keep it respectful. Um, this man and his daughter and these other people have lost their lives. And, let's just go from there. And I don't even really want to dwell on that part because that's done. Okay? It's done. I want to dwell on how we deal with the aftermath. Okay? Because we cannot lay in the fact that this happened. We can't stay there. We had yesterday to, deal with the news and to process what happened. And everyday people like us need to realize that Kobe is not our family. So we cannot take on that level of grief for someone that we've never met. Now, I'm not saying don't be empathetic or sympathetic of what is going on because I'm extremely sympathetic for the children that passed away because they did not get a chance to fulfill their purpose, but it was not meant for them to. As spiritual people, we have to start looking at situations with a spiritual eye. Okay? Now, if you understand that there is a creator, God did create us all. He gave us all a certain purpose. And when that purpose is fulfilled, he will call us home. That was their purpose. That was it. It was short-lived, but it was it. And we have to learn how to accept that because if we don't, we will get drowned in our grief. And grief is a bad place to lay in. You can start grief is like quicksand. You get in it, and if you don't have somebody to help you get out, you won't. You will just sink deeper and deeper and deeper. And there you go in a fit of depression, looking for whatever your way out of depression is, be it food, be it drugs, be it alcohol. These are coping mechanisms for some people. Let's be honest. These are the things that some people use to cope when they get stressed out. So if you know that food is a trigger for you when you are depressed or upset or whatever, then you need to find a way not to go down that street. And maybe finding a way not to go down that street is unplugging until, all of this situation kind of dies down. Like today, I looked at Forest Rock's video, and I know that, Forest Rocks grew up in LA, and she is really tied to the Lakers, and, she's always like Kobe, has always held him at a very high regard, and she has taken this situation very, very hard. Like her video today was so hard to look at. I mean, and she really reminds me of myself because I'm a crybaby too. Like I will cry at the drop of a hat. I really will. I just try to, hold myself together when I'm in front of the camera. But in real life, I am a big crybaby. So I don't put myself in a position where, I'm going to cry on camera because for one, I don't like, I don't like getting emotional on camera. Not saying it's something bad about that, but I just don't like it for me. And when I saw her video this morning, I was so hurt. That's why I didn't want to make a video yesterday. I just didn't want to come on here and talk about it yesterday because I knew that I would be emotional. I knew I would be. But we cannot allow this situation to take us to that point as spiritualists. And this is that's why y'all watching me, right? You watching me because you are trying to strengthen your already spiritual abilities because we all have them. It's just a matter of strengthening, building them up like muscles. You want muscles, you gotta, lift weights and eat right and all of that kind of stuff to build muscle. So in order to build your spiritual muscles, you have to take in, good information and meditate and talk to the spirits and listen. And you just can't allow all of this information that you're being bombarded with to bring your spiritual level down. You have to understand that this is a transition. There's nothing we can do to challenge God. We have to accept the will of God. Even the prayer says, thy will be done. Not my will, your will. God's will is going to be done, not ours. Because if it was up to us, we would have stopped that helicopter in mid-flight and brought it back down. But we couldn't do that. There were people filming.
Sandwich, chips. You don't need anything. Sodas or anything.
You're not gonna bring me a Sprite
Sprite. I'm just gonna get 2 liter Sprite.
and cupcake and a cupcake. You gotta come back in the house because I don't have my clothes. I don't have on no clothes.
You filming naked again?
And I'm on. And I'm on. I'm not naked, boy. I got on pants.
You filming naked again?
I have on pants, but I don't want to come outside in these.
I'm good and everything. All naked and stuff. What? Okay.
Bye, boy. I don't even know where I was. Yeah, we can't stop it. There was
It's kind of hard to talk somber with them ears on.
that. You know what? That's why I put them on because I don't want it to be somber. I want it to be somewhat uplifting. So I was like, let me put my ears on because every time when looking at myself, that's keeping me from being sad too.
I'll be back.
Okay. There was someone filming the crash. It's on YouTube. If you want to see it, I'm not going to show it. But my son sent it to me yesterday. And I was saying if those people, you know, they didn't know it was Kobe filming. They just, it's a helicopter going down. They knew it was going down. Had those people known it was Kobe, they would have did it. They would have been praying and everything. If we had the power to stop stuff like that, we would. But we don't. We don't have those type of powers. We cannot stop anything that God has put in motion. It has to happen. And it was designed to happen that way. It was. Because if it wasn't, it wouldn't have happened. And when you get a better understanding of life and death in God's will versus the will of man, you won't be as upset when things like this happen. Look at Kobe's life. Look at how much he had accomplished in his life. Kobe was on the second chapter of his life. He had retired. He was at the top of his game and had retired. He had accomplished everything that he was supposed to accomplish. Can you imagine when he got to heaven, God looked at him and was like, you used everything I gave you. Go on over there and sit down. That's it. It don't get no better than that. For you to be able to stand before your maker and be like, I used every gift you gave me. I did that. I didn't go down there and waste my gifts and say, oh, well, I should have did this, I should have did that. I'm pretty sure that, there, of course, there are some things that Kobe could look back on in his life and say, I shouldn't have done. But there are so many great things that he did do, that he did accomplish. So when we look at his life, we should he did that. The other people, the pilot, he also taught flying, used his gifts. There was a coach there. She used her gifts. There was a basketball coach, a baseball coach. He had been coaching for over 20 years. He used his gifts and talents. The people that were on that plane, not just Kobe, were masters of their gifts. They had used what God had given them. The only ones that didn't get a chance to do that were the children. And God just called them home. That they wasn't supposed to. What they did is what they were supposed to do. The lives that they touched in their 13 years were the ones that they were supposed to touch. The most important thing in living is us touching people's lives. That's it. And you're only going to touch the ones that you're supposed to. You have to start looking at death in a different way. Because death is not the end. Death is a transition. It's not the end. Kobe will still be remembered. His daughter will be remembered. The other people will be remembered. The children will be remembered by their families. You don't die. This body goes back, but your spirit remains. Your spirit remains. That's why we honor the ancestors. We lift them up. We call their names. On their birthdays, we celebrate them. Some people celebrate them on the anniversary of their death. We honor them. We keep their spirit alive in the honoring of them as they become ancestors. So, going back to grief, how do you handle grief? Because right now, in thinking about Vanessa, that is Kobe's wife, thinking about her, there has to be so much going on right now. The media is probably trying to, get interviews with her, which is really sad. But they are. That's part of it. I saw an interview this morning with the husband of the coach that was on it. She was there alone in the helicopter alone. Her husband and her children were at home. They interviewed him by phone, and he said he didn't sleep last night, and he was scared because he is a single parent now with 3 kids. So I think about the person that is left behind, because right now they're going to get a lot of attention until the funeral. You get a lot of attention when someone in your family passes away. There's a you are bombarded with attention. But it seems like as soon as the funeral is over, people go radio silent because they feel like at that point you should have dealt with what happened. But that's actually when the dealing with it starts, after you lay your family member to rest. That's when you start dealing, because that's really when it becomes real. That person is gone. It don't really get real until you leave that cemetery and you leave that person there. What do you do then? Because eventually your family, the phone calls, they're going to start to trail off. And you have to go back into your regular life. You got to take care of your kids. You got to take care of the house without that partner that you had helping you. Everything starts to fall on the person that is left. So how do you deal with that grief? And I'm going to tell you how I dealt with mine. And that was through therapy. I'm not going to lie. And my mother did not die. The doctor had, basically told us, you know, it's it's happening. We knew it was happening. But when it happened, it was still a shock. You know what I mean? Even though we knew it was coming, when it came, it was still a shock. So to have something like this happen, that was extremely tragic. Like he wasn't sick or, anything like that. You're not prepared for it. It just happened. I'm not going to say it's worse because, losing a loved one is difficult no matter how it happens. If they go in their sleep or, they have cancer, a car accident or whatever, just losing them is tragic, period. I started therapy a week after my mom's funeral. Um, the hospice, the hospice had set it up. So they had actually set it up before my mother passed. And they want you to start immediately. So after her funeral, they gave me a week to get my mind right, and they were calling, come in, because they knew that she had passed. We want you to come in and start therapy, the quicker the better. And I will always advocate for therapy. Vanessa and those children, everybody involved in this tragedy should be going to therapy. There's no way that these parents can process a loss like that and then help their children process the loss. You can't do it. You cannot. You're not that strong. And you shouldn't have to pretend to be that strong. You shouldn't. Hold on, y'all. My allergies are still tripping. You shouldn't have to pretend to be that strong. And as a single mother, I've always wore that, letter on my back. The superhero. I can do everything. I'm capable. I didn't raise these kids by myself. But honey, I'm telling you, when my mama passed away, that was it. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. I was broken. Do you hear me? I was broken. Superwoman had literally lost her cape. I was broken. I just could not do it. And I know that Vanessa, she cannot do it. You can't do it. Because I know people are telling her, oh, you got to be strong for the kids. You got to do this. And she's probably feeling like, oh, I got to be strong for the kids. I got to stand strong. I got to be this, perfect woman at the funeral. I can't fall out. No, girl, fall out. Fall out. Roll down the aisles if you have to. That was one thing I told myself at my mama's funeral. I don't care what happened. If I fall out, y'all just pick me up. I know I'm not going to be able to control myself. I'm not. I'm not even going to pretend like I'm strong. I'm just not. That was one time where I refused to be strong. I'm not. I fell out and everything. I did. I was screaming. I mean, gosh. I had to literally, I think my brain like kicked into some overdrive that I didn't even know was there. Like my brain had to just start shutting down certain systems. Okay. My brain was probably like, okay, overload, bop, bop, bop. Start shutting down. Knees, shut down. So get her down to the ground. Get her down. Get her down so we can at least send more oxygen to the brain. Buckle her knees and feet so she can get down to the floor and we can send oxygen to the brain. That's how it is. I ain't want nobody telling me, oh, you got to be strong. I ain't being strong for nobody. This is one day when I'm just taking care of Lashana. Every man, woman, and child for themselves today. I didn't care about my kids or nobody else. This is my mama in that box. I don't care about nobody. This is one day when I don't care about nobody. I don't. And I didn't. Until it was over. I couldn't console nobody. I messed up. And that's how she's going to be. But it's going to be so difficult for her because all eyes of the world is going to be on her. Because I'm pretty sure they're going to stream it live, his funeral. I pray she gets some therapy and them kids. Because after a person dies and you live in a home with them, everything is triggering. Everything. I'm so glad we had cleaned out my mom's apartment before she passed away. I wouldn't have been able to do it after. I just wouldn't. I probably would have just had to end up paying that, the money to her apartment because I just couldn't have went there. We did it before she passed. We, took out all of her stuff and everything before she passed away, which was really, really smart on my part. Therapy, meditation, someone that you can really be honest with. And it's hard to be honest with family. It is. It's hard to tell family when you having a bad day. Because they probably having a bad day. And you don't want to trigger them. Like I didn't want to trigger my kids. So I kind of kept stuff bottled up and didn't tell them. But thank God I had a therapist that I saw twice a week. I could tell her. When things were real bad, I could tell her. Plus, my therapist had an option to email her if things were really bad. And I would email her. When I was, feeling like I couldn't talk to anybody else, I would email her. You gotta put some things in place when grief is at the center of your life, or it will drown you. Grief is such a heavy emotion that it will literally kill you spiritually. That's daddy. Gizmo. That's daddy. Because you are doing the absolute most. I should have told you to bring me some candy.
Well, you got the cupcake.
Cupcake and candy, though.
Pretend.
Put it on the stove. I'll get it when I get up. Thank you. Mm-hmm. You're so sweet.
Sure.
What did you get?
You got simple chicken.
No, what did you get?
I got the tuna because they didn't have any more chicken.
Oh. That's all you got?
And some chips. Doritos.
All right. See you later. Bye. Love you. So, what are some things that you guys have used to help you with grief? Because we've all been there. We've all lost somebody. What did you use? Let's help each other. I don't want it to be just what I did because
see you later.
Maybe you don't. Everybody don't believe in therapy. Believe it or not. Everybody don't. Some people don't want to talk to a therapist. Don't feel comfortable opening up with a stranger. So how did you do it? How did you deal with how did you deal with your grief? Phyllis said, I lost my nephew back in October and then my sister-in-law in January, so I totally understand what you're saying. Then back in 2012, I lost my other nephew and my dad. She said, I'm taking it one day at a time. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. You can't, when you lose a loved one, you can't look to the future. All you can do is take one day at a time. I made it through today. Wake up the next day and see how you feel. Because you don't know how you're going to feel tomorrow. You don't know how your tomorrow is going to be. Your tomorrow may be worse than today. There are days when, I wake up and didn't think about her. Didn't think about my mom. No. I had to stop his little ass in his tracks. Don't stay over there on the floor. You ain't supposed to jump up here. Stay over there. Okay? You can come with mommy later. I don't want you to jump up there. Um, there are days when um, I didn't I didn't think about her. I didn't have any thoughts. And there were days when every thought was sad. But now, my mom passed in 2011. Now, when I think about her, it's more happy thoughts. You know, it's more good thoughts than bad. Because I knew my mom was sick, and just thinking about her suffering was painful. So knowing that she was out of that place of suffering made me feel better. You have to start looking at death in a different way. But when it's fresh, it's hard to look at it other than pain. That's all we see is pain in the beginning. Come here, Gizmo. Come on. Come on, mommy, put the blanket up for you. Come here. Come here, Poo Poo. Come this way, though. Come this way. This way. There you go. Go. Come say hi before you get comfortable. Said, that him is. That's a cute baby. That's him is. He said, hi. Don't you do it. Whoever that is, let him come through the gate. Stay here. It was probably just the maintenance man. I after the death of my mom, I threw myself into journaling and crafts. That was when I, really wanted to learn how to crochet. You know what I mean? So I threw myself into journaling. I threw myself into crochet to distract myself. I ate a lot of bad food. I gained a lot of weight. A lot. Um, I can't beat myself up for that. I was eating a lot of junk food. I, really was doing a lot of things that, I probably should not have been doing with food. But that was just part of it. It really was. You do go to things that bring you comfort. Okay, at that time, McDonald's brought me comfort. So I was eating it. But I started journaling a lot. I started crocheting a lot. I kept my mind and my fingers busy, and that helped. I did a lot of reading, and thank God I had my husband. He was not my husband at the time. We had just started dating. We had just started dating when my mom took sick. So he was not my husband. We were just dating. We were just boyfriend and girlfriend. But he was such a shoulder for me to lean on. That when that happened, that was one of the things that was like, okay, this man will make a really good husband because he was my shoulder to lean on. He was there during the funeral and, everything. And he didn't have to do that as a new boyfriend. He could have been like, well, you know what? That's, too much for me to process. But he was there. And, that kind of took his rankings up a couple of notches. But you have to, like, we collectively have to stop watching, you know, every piece of information that they put out about Kobe right now because it's so depressing. It's so depressing. And for some people, this is a trigger. And I want to tell you guys this. This was a trigger for me because I lost my dad at a very young age. And the only thing that I really thought about was, oh my God, these kids have lost their father. These other kids have lost their mother. One set of family, these people lost their mom and dad. That was what I thought about. Growing up without your dad is painful. Growing up without a parent is painful. It is. It's hard being a single parent because then I think about my kids. And their dad was alive until they were in their 20s. I think he passed away when they were in their 20s. But as a single parent, you get blamed for everything because the other person ain't there. And that's hard. And a tragic death like this, the mother she gonna have to take everything because the kids are going to go through some changes. Your kids go through changes when they lose a parent. My kids were grown, and when they lost their dad, I could see a shift in them. It's difficult. That's what I thought about. The parents that are left behind to deal with the children. Like, this is so bigger, so much bigger than just a basketball player losing his life. And we have, as spiritualists, we have to be able to look at the bigger picture because we have to help other people deal with what's going on. People come to us because we have a light, and we have to be able to help them when they are going through all of this. So you can't be in mourning and help somebody else that's going through mourning. That's the blind can't lead the blind. Even though I have seen blind people out together, and you know, they did kind of seem like they were, but yeah, you know, in certain situations they can't, because I was in Target and there was a blind lady in Target, and she was in the frozen food section, and you know, I'm doing my own thing. I don't, you know, at a point you want to help disabled people when you see them, but I would prefer them to ask for my help, because I don't want to help them and then they get upset like I ain't asked for your help. I'm independent or whatever. And she's in the frozen food department, and she did ask. She said, you know, I shop here often, but it seems like they have, you know, changed things around. Can you tell me if I'm on the right aisle for a certain product? And, you know, I helped her out until she found what she was looking for. But I wouldn't have just went up to her and be like, girl, where you trying to go? You want me to help you, girl? Come on, let me take you around the store. No, you don't want to do that. You do want to be of assistance. And you don't want people to come to you for help and you toe up. Girl, I can't see either. You don't want to do that. If you're building up your spiritual muscle, this is the time when you have to use it. You have to be the voice of reason to tell people Kobe has transitioned. Let's lift him up, him and his daughter, and everybody else in that situation. Let's lift them up, because they are going to become ancestors. You know, we will continue to call their names. They will continue, their spirits will continue to live on. Their body is going back to the earth, and their spirit is going back to meet with the Creator. You know, as in our tradition, we believe that the spirit has 9 days to stay here and figure out and tie up loose ends, and, you know, make sure that their loved ones are okay. You know, they keep that spirit around their loved ones to kind of keep them from falling completely apart. The spirit is still here, still with you for 9 days, still, you know, helping to hold you together. You still feel a closeness to them. After that 9 days, they start to get farther and farther apart from you, because they're getting closer and closer to the Creator. And yes, you can call on them, but they're not just here like they used to be. And we have to be the ones to tell them, the people that are in need. You're the spiritualist. You're the one with the power. You're the one with the spiritual knowledge. It's up to you to be able to give people a level of strength to be able to move through these tough situations. We can't lay in this. We can't. We have other things that we have to do. You got to take care of your kids. You got to go to work. You can't be at work crying and boo-hooing and driving down the street and you crying and boo-hooing and beating wrecked your car. We got to keep going. We have to. And that's not that we don't love him. It's not that we, don't respect him and the rest of the people. We do. But we have to deal with this in a healthy manner. We have to stay healthy. We have to. And I want to say something. A young lady said to me yesterday. She was like, I'm an empath and I feel, so and so. And, I feel for all of we are all empaths. We are all spiritual beings. All of us. My empath is only stronger than maybe yours because I've worked on it. I've built up that muscle. We are all empaths in a way because we're all spiritual beings. Some people just work on it more than other people. Sweetheart, that's the maintenance man. You got to stop tripping. I think he's taking the garbage out. Okay? I don't want you to keep running and jumping and bucking and carrying on. Just calm down. It's just Derek taking out the trash. Okay? I think that's what he's doing. And if he's not taking out the trash, he's cleaning up. Let him do his job, baby. Calm down. You're gonna be alright. Um, and I don't know why she had to tell me that, like, that was her title, or I'm an empath, so, I feel, we all feel. We all have feelings. We all have empathy and sympathy. If you don't have those things, it's something wrong with you. Like, you're psychotic if you don't have empathy and sympathy for other people. It is something mentally wrong with you. That is one of the signs of mental illness. When you don't have compassion and empathy and sympathy for other people, you're mentally ill. So we're all empaths. Stop putting yourself or your abilities above other people because we all have the same abilities. We all have empathy. We should all have it. Okay? We all have feelings. We all get emotional. But it's how we deal with those feelings and emotions that are important. I understand that I have high blood pressure. I take a pill every day to regulate my blood pressure because I'm not able to regulate it without medication at this time. I know that there are certain triggers for blood pressure: anger, uh, aggression, grief, sadness. All of those things can elevate your blood pressure. I know that. I don't want those things to happen. When I saw that this situation happened, I said, okay, this is going to be so heavy. I already know it. You're going to have to detach from social media today. I was watching movies, you know. I got on YouTube and was watching free movies. Me and my husband finally watched Harriet and this other movie, I See You, which was really interesting. Um, and just stayed away from, the social media thing because this is going to be going on for a week, you guys. All of this is going to go on until Kobe, his daughter, and the rest of these people are laid to rest. We cannot hold on to this for a week. You can't do it. And function at the level that you want to function, because it will bring up your own pain and hurt, because it triggered me losing my dad at a young age. And I can't lay in that. I have a husband, I have a house to take. I got to take care of me. Friday, I have a dental appointment, and I'm trying to keep my body at a certain level so that I won't have a problem healing. You have a problem healing when you have a lot of stress hormone going on in your body. I don't want that. I don't want, all of that going on, and I don't want you guys to hold on to that. So I'm telling you to detach. If you want to watch the funeral services or whatever, because I will watch that. I probably will watch it, part of. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna watch the whole thing. I probably will watch part of it. But I'm at a point now, we already know what happened, so I don't need to keep watching the news reports and, people talking about it and stuff. And you don't either. You don't. It just doesn't serve you any good at this point. You gotta exercise those muscles. You have to. Uh-oh, somebody hid James Boss. Duh. They got knocked out. A Beautiful Magic said the stuff they're putting out is disgusting. And I do want to say this. Yesterday, I don't know how, I actually saw it in someone's chat. I was in somebody's chat and somebody posted it. And I was like, what? So I said, let me get off here and go to Google. Because, Google is your best friend. And I went to Google, and Google said it was true. Because I saw like TMZ, and I was like, oh, I don't trust TMZ either. Then I saw CNN. And CNN vets their stories. So I knew it was true. And then I turned on the TV, and I saw it there. Um, so people are mad at TMZ because they said that TMZ released the story before the families had an opportunity to know what happened. Before the families had an opportunity to be notified. But I want to say this. In the grand scheme of things, does it matter? Like, does it really matter? Because how they were going to find out was going to be from a stranger anyway. It was going to be from the police knocking on their door, who is a stranger. They don't know them either. Coming to tell them that there had been an accident, or from a phone call, or whatever. So in the grand scheme of things, it don't matter who told them. It happened. And that's how we have to start looking at stuff. Stop getting mad at everything that happens. If somebody else is mad, let them be mad. Because that's one thing that does not make any sense. Because in the grand scheme of things, it don't matter who told. It happened. And it's bad. And I'm pretty sure his wife is going to eventually, and the kids are eventually going to see that video. So it don't matter if TMZ told, the FBI told, the CIA told, the sheriff department told, the police told. The outcome is the same. They gone. Stop getting outraged at stuff that's not going to change the outcome. So if the sheriff had knocked on the door and quietly told her, the family, that it happened, was that going to change the fact that it happened? No. They still gone. Your outrage at TMZ ain't gonna do nothing, and TMZ is not about to change their policy over some y'all getting mad because they broke the story first. Do you think CNN was like, oh, well, we need to find out, has the families been notified yet? Oh, the families ain't been notified? Okay, well, we gonna sit on the story until, okay, did anybody call and let the family know? Huh? That's not how journalism works. Okay? They find a story and they vet the story to see if it's true, and they going online. Okay? It has been told that the helicopter that went down was that of Kobe Bryant. That's that. Let's have some fun with Heidi. Don't block Heidi. Hold on, y'all. Heidi said, I just saw an angel behind you. It was a white orb from what I can see. So, what, Heidi? What you think? I'm gonna do what? Oh my God! You saw an orb? What is that? Is that what you wanted, Heidi? You could have just said hi, girl, and got my attention. You don't have to tell me that you saw an angel or an orb or whatever. I am in constant contact with my ancestors. Okay? Very constant contact. My ancestors have a place in this house. So you don't have to tell me that you saw an orb, an angel, a demon, a devil, or nothing else. That don't impress me. I know they live here. Hey, girl. I hate when people do that. I really do. You didn't have to do, you didn't have to retract your statement. You ain't have to do that, girl. You could have just said hi. Okay, now that that's over, we're not going to dwell on that. But I just wanted to let her know that I see you. I see you, girl. I put my glasses on so I can see you. Don't try that over here because you're not impressing nobody seeing orbs. We too powerful for that. That don't impress me. And it don't impress none of my subscribers. Because, if they didn't see it, it didn't happen. Huh, Gizmo? If I didn't see it, it didn't happen. We ain't see no orbs and stuff, girl. So if you saw it, maybe you need to get your eyes checked. That was Gizmo talking. He right there. So what I'm saying, to be careful how you are processing all of this information. Because it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot, a lot, a lot. So you got to be careful how you. Hey, Cassie. Casey. Hey, girl. You got to be careful how you are. Oh, and let me say one other thing. Let me see if I can find this picture first. So I hope they put their names on here so that I can. I thought I had it. Okay, my friend, she. Let's do this. Okay. Oh. Wait a minute. Okay. Can I see this? Okay. Okay. So these are the 9 people um, who were in the accident, and I do want to. Um, I can't see. Okay. So of course we have Kobe Bryant, Gianna Bryant, who went by Gigi, John Altobelli, Carrie Altobelli, and Alyssa Altobelli. That was mother, father, and daughter. Christina Mauser, who was the basketball coach. Sarah Chester and Peyton Chester. That was the mother and daughter. Peyton was on the basketball team. Ara Zobayan, who was the pilot. I hope that's everybody. We called their names and we lift them up to the ancestors. We call them by name because everyone will be, saying Kobe's name. Of course, Kobe is, you know, the most famous of all of these people. But all of these people have families and have loved ones. And now they have reached ancestor status. So we call them by name, we honor them. Hopefully, their families will lift them up. If you want to, you can light a white candle for them. You can, light a 7-day candle, which is your um, standard glass candle. These are supposed to burn for 7 days. They usually do burn for 7 days. You can, burn a glass candle for them, or you can just burn a candle for an hour. You can write their names down on a piece of paper and light a candle for them. If you have a picture, if you can, print out this picture or a picture similar to this, because they all pass together. So it is fine to put all of them on the altar because they all pass together. Don't add any living pictures. Like, don't put the picture with Kobe and the rest of his family. Use this picture or a picture similar to this with just the people that are deceased. post a picture of them, put them on your altar, light a candle. Something really simple. Put a crystal and just bless them and, pray that their transition is smooth, because sometimes people don't want to leave. God gives them a chance to, get their things in order and they don't want to leave, but they have to. They have to go. And we have to let them go. When our parents pass away, we have to let them go. One thing about my dad going first is I felt like, okay, they're together. She's not by herself. They're together. She didn't have to transition alone. I believe he came and got her because they loved each other so much. Somebody will come and get you. You know, somebody that you love will come and get you to make that transition a little smoother. So we just honor them, and we honor them by speaking their names. And when we speak their names, let's not just, speak Kobe because, we knew him. Let's speak all of their names. And at this point, it doesn't matter that, these people were of a different faith than you or, what you practice. This is out of sheer respect and honor of them during their transition. That's what you're doing. So you light your candle and, you know, if you want to, you sit down. That's the crazy neighbors. Don't get upset. If you prefer to use a picture of Kobe in his jersey, no, I'm not going to let you go because when they calm down, you're going to want to come back. I don't want you to keep doing that. You can't jump down. If you jump down, you can't come back. Is it really that important? Because you can't see what they're doing. That you can't see out that window. They're over there, not out front. Okay? So stay here. Just relax. Mommy got you. They're not gonna come in here. They next door. They just loud. I don't know what they're doing. But don't worry about that. Just lay down and relax. Okay? Mommy gonna take care of you. You ain't gotta worry about them crazy neighbors. I got you. Okay? Lay down. Lay down, boo. Um, it doesn't matter what the religion is. You know, you are doing this out of respect and you are honoring the deceased. And in that, you are releasing also some of that sadness that you have. Because when you see them on the altar, that will bring you a level of joy, knowing that you are doing what you're supposed to do. You are lifting them up. Okay? So in that, you will feel better. You have to do things to make yourself feel better, and that is one of the things. So if you choose to lift them up until, their funeral services, that would be good. Or if you just choose to lift them up for an hour, you light your candle. Light a tea light candle, the little small ones. Light one of those. And when it goes out, it goes out. But lift them up and let them know that, they are being honored. I don't know the religion of any of these people, and I don't care. But I lift them up because they are ancestors at this point, and I respect them and hope that their transition is smooth. We are spiritualists. People come to us because our light is shining. Don't covet your light. Share it with other people. That's how we touch other people's lives, by giving of the gifts that we have. We don't want to go back to our maker and he tell us, you were so stingy. I gave you so many gifts and you just held on to them and didn't do anything with them. When I meet my maker, I want him to say, you planted seeds and I watered them, and I appreciate that. You did what you could with what I gave you. That's what you want. You know what I mean? Don't worry about how many people's lives you've touched. Just know that you planted seeds. Even if you never get a chance to see that flower bloom, know that that seed has been planted, and the Creator will do the watering and watch the blooming. One thing I love about my succulents is some of them are just the ugliest plant. They're not all beautiful. Cactus are not the most beautiful plant, but they will bloom a beautiful flower. And it's very short lived. So you got to catch it while it's there. God did the watering, and eventually it will bloom. I have one right now that is blooming. And it just makes me happy to see it. Because it's nothing that I've done. I couldn't force that plant to bloom. I just had to wait. Actually, I didn't even know that this particular succulent did bloom. I didn't know. I've had it for 2 years, I think, and it's the first time it bloomed. So, you would not be here listening to me every day if this wasn't part of your destiny. You would have moved on by now and found something else. You know what I mean? You would be someplace else. But you come here every day because you want to build that muscle. Build that muscle and use it. Okay? Don't lay in this grief. Accept that it happened. Know that there's nothing we could have done to change it. Know that God is in control. And we're going to keep going. We have to. Okay? I love you guys. Shelby said cactus blooms are beautiful and short. They are. They are so beautiful. I mean, to see a flower come up out of these spikes and needles and all of this kind of stuff is one of the most beautiful things in the world. A ugly cactus. Because I don't think that, oh my God, they're not beautiful. They cute in their own way, You know, if you like cactus, but they're not just what you would consider beautiful. But when you see something beautiful come out of something that is just not what we consider beautiful, it makes you feel good. When I see my cactus bloom, oh my God, it brings me so much joy. My son gave me a succulent for Mother's Day. Um, 4 years ago, I think. And it bloomed for the first time last year. Not only did it bloom, it produced a baby, a pup. And I don't know why I got so emotional when I saw it bloom. Oh, it just bloomed this yellow, small yellow flower. And I almost cried. And I called my son and was like, you know, that succulent you gave me bloomed. And he was like, what? He forgot he even bought the thing. But see, that shows how much I value things that people give me, you know, and want when people give me plants and flowers and stuff like that, I want them to live. My husband gave me a succulent for Christmas and it died. And I knew it was going to die because it when he gave it to me, it didn't, you know, really look well taken care of in the store. You know, when you buy succulents from stores and stuff, they're not, you know, really taken care of like they're supposed to be. So it kind of looked like it was on his last leg when he bought it, because he don't know nothing about, you know, purchasing succulents. But it was in a cute container, so he got it. Like I never would have purchased that because I could look at it and tell that it was like kind of like on his last leg. But he didn't know that. And it died. And I told him. And he was just kind of like, "Oh, well, it was a Christmas cactus. Christmas is over." Sometimes my husband teaches me things when he's not even trying, because he was kind of like yesterday, okay, babe, we're not going to fall into a depression about the situation. It happened. Let's go. He was one of the ones. All right, cut that off. You know, I don't want to hear it no more. Let's watch some movies. Let's do something else. And I really do appreciate him for that, because it's true. You cannot keep, because it's on now. It's on the show Extra. There, of course, they're, you know, showing pictures of him, showing pictures of his daughter, and everything. We are going to be bombarded with, but we have to learn how to process. Kobe is famous. He is the first, you know, really big person that we have lost this year. This year just started. He is not going to be the last person that we lose this year. This death is a part of life. You live and you die. But hopefully, what's in between living, your birth, and your death, what is in between that, hopefully is good. That's what you want to make great. You don't concentrate on the end. You concentrate on that, the journey. The end is great. You know, running a marathon is great. But you got to do them 25 miles or 3 miles or however many miles it is. You got to get through them before you get to the end. Kobe and the rest of them got to the end. They crossed the finish line. Okay? We still at this part. The in between. This where we at. So we got to enjoy this. We're not at the finish line. They crossed over. We are still here. Okay? So we have to act like we're still here. Enjoy what we have left. Because we don't know when we going to cross over. So we got to enjoy this. We can't lose it because someone else crossed over. Okay? I love you guys. I appreciate. Hey, Leah. Hey, Yemiya. Hey, Lady K. Hey, Educate to Liberate. Hey, Shelby. I appreciate you all. I really do. I'm glad that you guys are here. And I want you to exercise your spiritual muscle. And this situation is a good training for you on how not to allow grief to overcome you. This is a training. This is a test. Okay? This is a test. And we have to move forward. We have to. Because there's still work to be done. We can't stop here. We have to keep going. So we lift all 9 of them up in prayer. We send their family good energy. We pray for the ones that were left behind. And we honor the ones that left. Okay? So, I'm going to go and crochet. I'm going to go crochet. I might see if I can print this picture out and put it on my altar. I'll see if I want to do it today or do it the day of their service. I'll see how I feel and see if I can get my printer to print. But I am going to light a candle for them. If I don't print out the pictures, I probably will still just light a candle for them and maybe just write their names down. Because dealing with that printer, I know I'm going to have to sync my phone up to the printer. Or I may get my husband to do it when he comes home. But, yeah. Light a candle. Write their names down. It does not have to be elaborate. It can be so simple. But just honor them. And send some, good energy to the wives and husbands and children that have been left behind. There is a picture. Let's see if I can find this. After I show you guys this, I'm leaving. Let me see. Did I post it? Oh yeah, here it is. That was the whole team. So Kobe's daughter and two other number five, and I think one of the other young ladies, if I'm not mistaken. But number five for sure was on the team. So Kobe's daughter is number two, and number five is at the end. So pray for them. The team, because these kids lost a friend, two friends. And I know how it feels to lose a friend. And I lost a really good friend in high school. I know how that feels. That's hard to get over. Very, very hard to get over. So, and her death was tragic also. So I know what that feels like. You know, I know pray for the kids. You know, this is your job. Okay? We are the people that God has trusted to do this type of work. So do it. Don't be selfish. The time is now. Get to working. Here you go, right here. The big job. Get to working. Okay? I love you guys. Um, do something fun. Watch a movie today. Laugh. Okay? Laugh. Go back to your regular self. Crochet. Do some art. Get out the house. You know? Meditate. Light your candles. And let's move on. Tomorrow we will go back to talking about the chakras and getting our chakras together and all of that kind of stuff, because we're not going to linger on this. We can't afford to do that. Hey Zara, yeah, you late, girl. You late, but that's okay, sweetie. Watch the playback. We went a little over today. I'm gonna have to get somebody to be the official timekeeper because what's her name is gone. I don't think she's coming back. So I'm gonna probably have to get somebody to one of my moderators. Y'all gonna have to start putting the time up there when I didn't, get to talking. I think Essie gone. I don't think Essie coming back, child. So somebody is gonna have to start putting the time clock up there when I didn't went past an hour, or when I'm getting close to an hour. I need you to put the time clock up, so I know where I'm at, because I will just keep talking, okay? And I really do want to keep them around an hour. That's long enough for me. Okay, y'all, I'm finna go. Gizmo, you wanna go pee? You wanna go use your bathroom? Hmm? You wanna go use your bathroom? Cutie pie? You need a bath and a haircut. A little trim. Because your beard thing is getting dirty. That's when I can tell that it's time for me to trim down here when he eats and it starts to get like kind of brown around there. It's time for a trim. Yes, it is too, with your little cute self. You got the cute pie. Mommy love you. Okay, y'all. I'm finna go. I will see you guys tomorrow. We will talk about the chakras tomorrow. Light your candles. Oh, you just saw your notifications? Oh, I'm sorry. I work from home, so I don't mind the long videos. You think something happened to Essie? No, because I saw Essie. Essie be here. She be in other people's chats. I think Essie, I don't know, child. I think she got tired of us or whatever. I mean, I don't want to say that, but she be in other people's chats. She moderates for other people. So she just not here. So we gonna move on. You know, I need somebody to put the clock up for me. So I'm never going to just depend on one person. Somebody else can do it. Y'all will. Y'all will get me together. Okay, y'all. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace and blessings. Bye. Okay, why this thing not go off?